Welcome everybody tonight. I want to tell you about the brick kiln workers. These are people who are enslaved under Muslim brick owners in Pakistan. The purpose of this project is freeing Christian persecuted families working in slavery at brick kilns. What can $36,000 buy here in America? Maybe a new car, a nice new car, a new motorcycle, a modest house, a new boat, a camper, all the stuff that we like, the fun stuff. $36,000 in Pakistan will also free 30 families. That's 180 family members. And of that 180, 120 of them are children. What are the brick kiln workers? Well, these are families that are bound by debt. They may have several different reasons for debt. In Pakistan, they still have a dowry system, and your daughter will not get married if you do not have a dowry. Some of them have simply gone into debt for the dowry. Some have gone into debt. For one man, he went into debt to pay for his sister's kidneys. She had a kidney disease. His sister has been dead many, many years now, and his family is still in bondage because of that. They serve for a lifetime. They cannot get out from under that bondage. Their kids are also bonded as young as 1 and 2 years old. They are forced to sell their children sometimes. Some of the brick kiln workers or owners won't allow them, if their children are under 6 or 7, they won't allow them to work. And so they're forced to sell their children. They live in unsanitary conditions. They do not have good water. They do not have blankets to sleep at night. Sometimes they have roofs. Sometimes they don't. They do not have good, solid homes like we do to live in. They work 16 hours a day, well below the labor rate. 4:30 in the morning to 8 o'clock at night. In the scorching hot sun, 120 degrees. When it's cold, bitter cold outside, they're working. If it rains, they cannot work. They do not get paid. They are poverty stricken. They are persecuted and abused. They are told what they can do. They are told what they cannot do. They are told if they can have a baby. They're mocked and made fun of. One couple had a baby. She was pregnant without permission of the owners. Her and her husband were both thrown in the kiln and burned alive because they were Christian and did not get permission. Not only did that affect those two, but it also affected the 4 orphan children that they had. Many times the young Christian girls, they're raped, they're married off to Muslim men, and they are abused. They're not allowed to attend their own religious festivals or even marriage and funerals without incurring more debt. These are things we take for granted. How many of us have a sunrise Easter service and everybody goes and enjoys themselves? They can't even do that. They must work in bitter cold temps as well as the extreme heat. They are not allowed time for illness. I have a story about that in just a little bit. The girls are raped. They are charged for food and shelter as well as high interest on the debt. They may pay off their debt and then turn around and, oh, well, you owe for eating my food and staying in my house. Now your debt is 3 times as much. They earn only $2 to $3 a day, and that's for the whole family, for making 1,000 bricks every 2 days. They have no rights to education and are mocked for giving birth. The children are not educated. Pregnant women are beaten if they do not have permission, or worse yet, like I said earlier, they are killed. And many of the young girls are forced to marry Muslims. And the Muslim owner says, there's no one to help you. You're stuck. You're Muslim or you're Christian. You're in a Muslim nation. There's no one to help you. But Matthew 19:26, Jesus said, but Jesus beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. We are able to help our brothers and sisters in Christ, as well as show the power of Christ to the Muslims. are the brick kiln people. They're women, men, and children. They're just like you. How many of you have debt? How many of you have a car payment, a house payment, credit cards, no matter what size of that bill? And yet these people are just like you. They're in debt, sometimes from generations back. This is Akbar Masih. I will read you his story in his own words. I have been working as a bonded laborer and slave since I was 6 years old. I was too much sick while I was 18. Doctor told me about rest, but my owner didn't allow me, and I worked in the sickness, so my hands were paralyzed first, and then my fingers of both hands destroyed by this disease. I wish I could be free from this slavery, but I am still forced to work here with these hands. How would you be able to work with your hands crippled up? As you can see, he has to lift the bricks with the palms of his hands. They're beaten, they're broken, and they're battered, simply because he was sick and his owners would not allow him to rest and heal. Faith Vision Ministries in Pakistan. This is Pastor Asif Gulzar. He is the executive director. They are the ones that are working this project. They're in Pakistan, and they are the ones that will be training them, working with them, and freeing them with our help. Objective 1 is to free Christian families by paying their debt. Objective 2, provide income generating resources. They will be buying them used rickshaws. They will be training them. They will be educating them on how to use them. They can earn much more money this way so that they can be self-sufficient and not have to become indebted again. They will be able to raise their families on that income. They also will be providing education to the children. As you can see, these children are so happy to get these educational materials. They want to learn, but they're not allowed to learn. The schools, if they do have a school, they're a substandard condition. You can help a child be educated so that they are not indebted later. How they're going to do this: when the funding is available, there will be meetings with families and a legal committee. This will all be done legally so that they will not be in risk of being said that they run away or anything. Everything will be done above board. Training will be provided for the families in another business. Like I said, most of them will have the rickshaws. Legal committee will be handling all legal matters and debt paid off to free the families. They will be paying all of their debt to free them, which is, to us, it's only, $300 in our money, but to them, that's a lifetime. Executive director will monitor families regularly. Sometimes they will get discouraged because this is a whole new life to them. And he will make sure, him and his church and his team will make sure that they're encouraged, that they're not getting overwhelmed, and that they have the strength and encouragement and the training that they need to be successful. The purchase committee will find bids for used rickshaws. They will be out there trying to spend the money as wisely as possible so it goes as far as possible. The distribution of the rickshaw will be done in an encouraging manner so as not to belittle the worker. It will be done as an encouragement to them. And the program accountant will prepare all documents. There will be a paper trail for everything that they do. These are the things that they want to do, and it simply will be $36,000 in order to free those 30 families. That's where you come in. Once these 30 families are freed and set up and running their own business, then they will be working on freeing the next 30 families. There are over 10,000 brick kilns in Pakistan. Only roughly 6,300 of them are legal and registered with the Labor Department. It is their ministry, it is their vision to free all Christians bonded to debt. What can you do to help?